Councillor Mary-Ann Brown, Chair of the Rural Councils of Victoria. Thanks for joining us again on Flow.
A great pleasure, Ricky.
Now, there was a landmark announcement on Friday, from the Infrastructure Australia body, a report released that really sort of links hand in glove with what you're talking about getting food manufacturing businesses out into rural Victoria.
Yeah, yes, Ricky. What they're saying, there was quite a strong focus on regional and rural Victoria and what the opportunities are, but what's needed to make sure that businesses can thrive in those communities.
And there was a further commentary, I think, picked up in the Fairfax media about the confectionery company Wrigley Mars, or whatever they call themselves now. They produce the Mars bars and others. They've got plants in Wodonga and I think also in Ballarat, but possibility that they could look at setting up other sites in the regions, but they need to attract the millennials to come out of the cities.
Look, Ricky, I think it touches on, even before the pandemic, one of the issues was for regional and rural communities about attracting qualified staff, and they've focused on a particular area in that food manufacturing section, particularly people with sort of the science, engineering type backgrounds. That has been an area of shortage in many of our communities for some time. So this really highlights those workforce issues. And look, this is a great opportunity because we are already seeing a move to regional and rural, but we need to have some supporting infrastructure in place to really make that more attractive. And one
we've talked about with the Regional Communications Federal Minister, Bridget McKenzie, also a Victorian Senator, is about broadband and getting good internet. For young people in the hierarchy of needs, good internet is pretty critical.
It certainly is, and look, it's not just about. I think the pandemic. This was an issue before the pandemic, but it has really escalated. You've got people trying to do homeschooling, you've got people trying to work from home, you've got businesses who are more and more reliant on access to good internet and broadband, and it does continue to be an issue in parts of regional and rural Victoria, and so there still is a lot of work to be done to make sure that we've got good access to those services and even mobile phone services, because in some areas that is still an issue as well.
Now, just to recap on what we talked about last time with Rural Councils Victoria, your organisation, about trying to attract food manufacturing businesses like confectionery companies to set up not just in regional cities but actually in rural towns. Do you want to just give us a quick wrap up on what that proposition is?
So what we've done is we've established a website. We've contacted nearly 4,000 food manufacturing businesses, and we've got information available as to what are the options for those businesses considering relocating or expanding in terms of access to things like available land, what other supporting infrastructure there is in those communities. So I think we've had over 20 councils areas have participated, and we haven't seen so far because we've only just released that, but we will have information about what sort of take-up and interest has been generated by this project.
Yeah, it's been a comprehensive initiative you've put together. It's early days yet in terms of picking up attraction for it, but hopefully people listening out there will also maybe come up with some suggestions and ideas, might know someone in Melbourne who runs a business that might be interested in setting up with lower operating costs in a rural town.
Well, it's not just the operating costs, Ricky, it's also the capital investment, because there's a significant differential, particularly when you're looking at land values between regional and rural areas versus metropolitan Melbourne. And there's a whole range of other issues. People are thinking about moving because of lifestyle issues, and as we've seen, by and large, regional and rural Victoria have fared really well in terms of managing COVID, and I think that's going to continue to be the case.
Well, Councillor Mary-Ann Brown, great to touch base with you again. We're looking forward to this initiative bearing some dividends and maybe some sweeteners to help confectionery companies move out in the regions. Might be a good starting point.
We'll certainly be working on that. Thanks for the opportunity, Ricky.